Hey guys, today we begin with a question. A question so simple it slips under your skin. So heavy it breaks something inside you. And the worst part, you don't even realize it, not at first. It starts on an ordinary morning. The light outside your window is sharp and cold. Your coffee is half made, still dripping. You're rubbing sleep from your eyes when you notice your phone blinking. No name, no number, just one new message. You open it, stop searching. Truth can't be found. That's all. No sender, no context. Just 10 words. You stare at it, heart skipping. Spam, a prank, but something inside you shifts. You don't delete it, you just sit. And for the first time in weeks, you realize you'd been searching. Not Googling, not scrolling, but searching. Late nights filled with articles about consciousness, simulated realities, the Mandela effect, dreams inside dreams. Trying to answer something you couldn't quite phrase. And now someone or something has told you to stop. That day is strange. You're distracted at work. Every conversation feels like it's happening half a second too late. You ask a colleague a question about yesterday's meeting and they say, "What meeting?" But you remember the slide deck. You remember raising your hand, asking about the Q3 numbers. You even remember the taste of the awful coffee in that conference room. How could they not remember? So you check your email. Nothing. No calendar invite. No summary. No slides. It's like it never happened. But it did. You know it did. That night you dream of a hallway. Endless doors. And a whisper from behind one of them. There is no answer. Only endings. You wake up cold, sweat-drenched. You reach for your phone again. No new messages. Just the same one, now pinned to the top. Stop searching. Truth can't be found. The next few days blur. You stop calling people. They stop calling you. You start noticing glitches. The coffee shop you go to every morning is suddenly gone. Not closed dash gone ... an empty lot. No one remembers it ever being there. You walk in circles through your neighborhood and realize you're counting steps like breadcrumbs. As if you're trying to find your way out of something invisible. You begin hearing the message in unexpected places. A bus ad says don't search, just live. A stranger on a park bench hums a melody that matches the rhythm of the words, "Truth can't be found." You start writing things down, afraid your mind might not hold onto them. But each page in your notebook already has your handwriting, written days ago. Saying things you haven't thought yet, like this one. Don't trust the mirrors after 3 a.m. You begin to question everything, your name, your past. Why some people smile at you like they've met you before and others look straight through you. And every time you start to form a new theory. Every time you think maybe you've cracked something, something changes, subtly, a crack in the wall that wasn't there. A sound your apartment never used to make, and the worst one. Your own voice on your voicemail, saying something you never recorded. It plays back in static, whispering. You ask the wrong question. You dig through old notebooks, old drives. Nothing helps. Until one night, in an insomnia haze, you sit at your desk and scrawl something across a fresh page without thinking. Maybe truth isn't hidden. Maybe truth hides from you. You stop, look at the words, and feel a chill you can't explain, because the moment you wrote them. Your phone lit up again. No number, no name. Just a new message, and it reads, "You're not supposed to remember that." You leave your apartment the next morning with a strange weight pressing against your chest. It's not fear, not exactly. More like the echo of something you were supposed to remember, but didn't. You don't know why you're walking. You don't know where you're going. But your feet are pulling you somewhere, like they've made this journey before without you. The streets look familiar, but not quite right. Colors feel slightly off. Signs seem to flicker at the edges. People walk by you like shadows wrapped in routines. And then you see him. A man sitting alone on a park bench, old but not fragile. Stillness clings to him like a second skin. He's dressed in gray, coat, gloves, scarf, and his eyes are already on you. He doesn't smile, doesn't wave, he just says, "You're 2 days late." You stop walking. Something inside you recoils. But you step closer anyway. "How do you know me?" you ask. He tilts his head, studying you like a puzzle missing pieces. "I remember you," he says, "but you don't remember me yet. You want to laugh, or run, or both." But something about his voice, measured, calm, certain, rips you in place. I was supposed to meet you here, he continues, Tuesday, just after sunrise. You were wearing a black jacket and you had coffee from the corner cart. You spilled it. I wasn't here on Tuesday, you say. He nods slowly. That's the problem. You sit beside him, cautiously. The bench is cold, the silence heavier. I don't understand. You finally say you will, he replies. He reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a folded piece of paper. Worn edges, creased corners, he hands it to you. You open it. Your handwriting, your name at the top. A message underneath. Ask him about the cafe. Your heart freezes. How did you get this? You whisper. I didn't, he says. You gave it to me, last week. You stare at him, stunned. That's not possible. He shrugs gently. You were different then. More certain, less scared. You asked me to remind you when the world started slipping. You feel sick, the cafe. The one that vanished, the one nobody remembers. The one that used to be your anchor every morning. You start asking questions, fast to fast. Who are you? Why are you doing this? What do you mean I gave you that? He holds up a hand, and something about the gesture so familiar, so yours shuts you up. He looks at you, softly, like a parent watching a child struggle with a puzzle they're not ready for. You're not broken, he says. You're unfolding. You shake your head. That doesn't make sense. It will. But not if you keep asking the wrong things. He pulls out a small silver object, a pocket watch, clicks it open. You see nothing inside, no hands, no numbers. Just a black circle. You gave this to me, too, he says. You said time doesn't work where you're going. You stare at the empty watch face. And for a brief second it pulses, like a heartbeat. I don't remember any of this, you say. He looks at you carefully. You wouldn't. That's the design. You glance around the park. It's quiet, too quiet. Why me, you ask. And he smiles, finally, for the first time, but there's no warmth in it. Because you're the only one still looking. You feel the message echo in your skull. Stop searching. Truth can't be found. But now it sounds different, like a warning from yourself. Like a loop you failed to break. You want to scream, but your mouth is dry. The man stands. I've told you everything I'm allowed to, he says. I won't remember this tomorrow. Neither will you. He starts walking away. You shout after him. Wait, what do I do now? He doesn't turn around, just lifts a hand and says, ask the mirrors what they saw. You're left alone, paper in one hand, empty watch in the other. The shadows feel longer now, the air colder. You don't know who that man was, but you do know one thing. He remembered your future better than you remember your past. And that means you're already in the story. You just haven't caught up to it yet. The cafe is there, not metaphorically, literally there. Same red awning, same cracked sidewalk, same tiny blackboard outside with chalk scribbles that always fade in the rain. Except, you watched it vanish. You remember the empty lot, the overgrown weeds, the silence. You remember it being gone, but now, it's not just here. It's open, people are inside, laughing, drinking, living in a version of reality that doesn't match the one in your head. You walk in slowly, like entering a memory you're not sure belongs to you. The bell above the door rings. It's a real sound. Not imagined, not hallucinated. The barista looks up and smiles. Hey there. Usual. You pause. You remember me, she chuckles. Well, yeah. You come in every morning, don't you? You nod slowly. Your throat tightens. You want to ask, was this place here yesterday? But you already know it's a dead-end question. So you ask instead, what's my usual? She blinks, then frowns, like a glitch just shimmered across her face. Flat white, extra cinnamon. You've never ordered that in your life. You hate cinnamon, but you smile and nod. Right, of course. You take a seat in the corner. Same spot you remember sitting, except something is off. The table's surface has a long scratch through it. One you know wasn't there. You place your fingers along it. It's fresh, recent, and then you notice. On the wall next to you, barely visible under old peeling paint, are the words, "You were never here." You freeze. It's written in your handwriting. In ink, just faint enough to escape notice. But you see it, and worse, you remember writing it. Your hands start shaking. You dig into your backpack and pull out the notebook. It's changed. Pages that were blank before are now full of entries. Time-stamped, labeled ... each one describing this cafe. You flipping open to one that reads, DIY4, the cafe is back. Staff recognizes me, scratch on table new. Test ongoing, don't drink anything. You look at the coffee cup the barista placed in front of you. Still steaming, the scent of cinnamon strong enough to sting. You push it away. On the next page, they're watching, not customers' walls. You glance up, there's an old mirror near the counter. Framed in brass, tarnished, you stand slowly, walk toward it. Your reflection follows, but half a second late. Then it moves independently. It tilts its head the wrong way. It blinks when you don't. It smiles. You don't. Suddenly, the lights in the cafe flicker. You turn to see if anyone else noticed. But the customers are frozen, literally, motionless. A man halfway through sipping his drink, a child reaching for a cookie. The barista frozen mid-step, foot hovering off the floor. The room hums, low, vibrating, and in the mirror. Your reflection opens its mouth and speaks. This isn't about the cafe. You stare, paralyzed. You came here looking for proof, it says. But memory is never evidence. It's construction. You try to respond. Your mouth won't move. This version of you, it's almost ready. Then everything slams back to normal. The lights steady, voices resume. The man finishes his sip. The child giggles. Time starts again. You stagger back to your seat, breathing hard. The coffee is cold now, untouched. On the napkin beside it, a new message: drink and forget. Walk away. Or stay and lose everything you know. No handwriting, just printed cleanly. Like it was always part of the table. You don't drink, you get up, walk out the door, into a world that now feels thinner, looser. Reality didn't just glitch, it responded. You asked a question you weren't supposed to. And now the answers are watching you back. Your apartment isn't where you left it. You open the door expecting familiarity. But the light's wrong. Dimmer, yellower. The hallway feels slightly longer. The air smells like burnt dust and old electricity. You stop in the doorway, suitcase still in hand, and wonder, was the floor always this dark? You step in, everything looks the same at first. Couch, bookshelf, framed photo of you and someone you don't speak to anymore. But the moment you close the door behind you, the hum starts. A faint vibration, not from outside, from the walls. You try to ignore it. You toss your coat on the hook, kick off your shoes, and collapse onto the couch. You open your notebook to write, but the entry's already there. Written in your handwriting, dated tomorrow. Apartment isn't stable, watch the doors. Doubt activates it, you stare. Your pen falls from your fingers. You hadn't written that, you hadn't even thought it until now. And that's when you notice the door to the kitchen. It's closed, you never close that door. Not once, not ever. You stand, approach it slowly. The hum gets louder. You reach for the doorknob, and stop. You don't remember what the kitchen looks like, not really. You remember vague shapes: fridge, counter, window, but you can't see it in your mind. As if it's been erased, you open the door. Inside is a perfectly clean, untouched room. Everything where it should be, nothing out of place. Except the fridge light is blinking, on, off, on, off. And taped to the fridge is another message: you doubted, now we adjust. You back away, close the kitchen door. Then rush to the bathroom. You flick on the light. Nothing happens. The bulb stays dark. Your reflection in the mirror flickers. You see your face, but behind it, something else. Not a figure, not a monster. A copy of the room. But with one less object. You blink. And the real room matches it. The towel hanging on the door. Gone. You run your hands along the counter. Check the drawers. Something is missing, but you can't tell what. The reflection is now ahead of you. Smiling, and it mouths something silently. Let it go. You slam the light off and leave. You go to the bookshelf, pull out a random novel, one you've read twice. You flip to the last page. It's blank, no words. Just the faint imprint of a sentence that used to be there. You flip to the middle. The characters are different. Names changed, motivations reversed. The story isn't the one you remember. And inside the cover, scribbled in red ink, you're not the reader anymore. You're the page. Panic sets in. You grab your phone, call someone, anyone. The line connects, you hear breathing. But no one speaks. Then a voice, distorted, like underwater. We can rebuild what you remember, or we can let you fall. Choose. You hang up, trembling. You pull the curtains. Lock the door. Sit in the dark. You whisper to yourself. It's not real. It's not real. And the wall replies, not anymore. You don't sleep. You sit on the couch, eyes wide, watching the apartment hold itself together like a glass sculpture balancing on a lie. By dawn, the hum stops. The fridge light stabilizes. The book returns to normal. The mirror reflects correctly. But there's a note on the floor, one you didn't write. Folded neatly, with just 3 words. Doubt creates breakage. You wake up at noon. Not because you slept, because you blacked out. There's no memory between 3:12 a.m. when the lights stopped humming. And now when your phone buzzes with a single new notification. Download complete, the diminishing theory.pdf. No sender, no app name. Just a file on your home screen, already opened once. Already sitting in your recent reads. You don't remember downloading it. You don't remember opening it. But something inside you is terrified to look again, which means of course you do. The file opens to the middle page, lines are missing. Whole paragraphs eaten by static, as if the text is degrading in real time. But the title is still clear, The Diminishing Theory. Reality is not built from atoms, but from agreement. What you believe shapes what exists, what you doubt begins to rot, and below that, the brain's drive to understand is self-destructive. The more you know, the less you retain. The more you uncover, the faster your past erodes. You scroll up, then back down. More sections are missing, words flicker. Sentences you just read are now blank. Your thoughts start to fray, you feel it. Like your memory is detaching from the world. You rush to your notebook, try to copy what you remember. The moment the pen touches paper, you forget the first sentence. You try again, forget the second. You stare at the page and realize. You don't even remember the title anymore. You flip the notebook shut, press your hands to your face, and hear a whisper from your hallway mirror. Stop looking, stop retaining, or we'll take more. You run a system scan on your laptop. The file is gone, no trace. Not even in the recycle bin, but in its place. A new folder you've never seen before. Known_unstable, inside, hundreds of short clips. Surveillance style, from your apartment. Different angles, different days. Some from above you while you sleep, but the worst part. They show versions of you doing things you don't remember. Crying, laughing, talking to someone off screen. Speaking in languages you've never learned. One file stands out, it's titled, The Moment Before Erasure. You play it, it's you, sitting on the couch. Holding a piece of paper, you say aloud. If I read this next part, I won't know who I am anymore. And then you look into the camera and say, if you're watching this, I was wrong. The clip ends, you don't remember recording it. You don't remember ever saying that. You check your notebook again. A new line has been written inside. You don't remember writing it. You don't even remember opening the book. It says, truth is a function of forgetting. Underlined 3 times. You try to tear out the page. It won't tear. The paper feels like skin. Your phone rings. A known caller. You don't answer, but a voicemail auto-downloads. You play it, a soft, calm voice. If you're still reading the theory, you've already lost the first layer of self. Stop now, or the next memory to go will be your name. You shut the phone off, pull the battery, throw it across the room. But the screen lights up one more time, just once. Just long enough to show one final message. Who told you there was ever a truth to find? You crawl into bed, heart pounding. Try to remember what you've learned, what you've forgotten, what you are. You close your eyes and dream of a world made of static, where knowledge is currency and memory the price. It starts with a photograph. You find it tucked behind a book on your shelf. A picture of you at the beach, laughing, arm around someone you recognize instantly. Your sister, but something's wrong. You don't have a sister. You've never had a sister. And yet, here she is, smiling, sunlight in her hair. Your name scrawled on the back in familiar handwriting, summer before the forgetting. You sit down hard, the photo trembling in your hand. You search your memories. Childhood. Birthdays, vacations. Now that you're looking, she's everywhere. She's holding your hand on your first day of school. She's screaming at you after your first car crash. She's crying at your graduation. And yet, not one video, not one social media post, not one message or file contains her name. No contact, no birth record, no trace. You try to call your mother, she doesn't pick up. The voicemail message says, the number you're trying to reach has been restructured. You dig through your storage. Old journals, yearbooks, boxes of forgotten letters. Every time you expect to see her, she's missing, but every time you don't expect her, she's there, like she's hiding between pages. In margins, in red ink. In backmasked audio on an old cassette that whispers. You're not allowed to know who you lost. You try a memory test on yourself. You write down everything you think you remember. First pet's name, your 5th grade teacher. What street you grew up on, then you leave the room. Set a timer, come back. The answers don't match, not a single one. You read your own handwriting, and it feels like a stranger's voice. You feel hollowed out, your memories rewritten, or replaced. Later, a knock at the door, you freeze. No one knocks anymore, not since. Whenever all this started, you open it. A delivery box, no label, no return address. Inside, a cassette player, and a tape labeled simply forgotten. You press play. Your own voice answers, hey, if you're listening to this, you've reached phase 3. Your memories aren't yours. They were seeded, planted. Some to guide you, some to trap you. You had a sister, her name was Claire. She was erased during calibration 7 because she remembered too much. You were given no anchors, false parents, fake relationships, harmless distractions. You didn't question them because they fit. But now you're destabilizing. Now the system can't contain your mind. Be careful what you choose to recall. The more you remember, the more reality has to bend. The tape ends. You sit in silence, heart thudding. The photo of Claire still in your hand. And then you see it. The picture is changing. Her face is fading. The image warping. The ink on the back begins to drip. You flip it over. New words are forming beneath your name. You're not next. You're last. You race to your closet. Rip open the floor panel. Underneath, a file you didn't know you hid. Inside, surveillance photos, notes. A map with red string connecting events you haven't lived yet. And on the final page, Claire was your failsafe. Now you have none. You collapse on the floor, trying to hold your mind together. But the room feels stretched. Like it's accommodating new data you shouldn't possess. You close your eyes, and in the darkness, you hear her voice. You have to forget me again, or they'll erase more than just us. You pack a bag, no plan, no map. Just a raw, desperate urge to get out. You tell yourself it's just a drive. Clear your head, distance from the noise. But deep down, you're not looking for clarity. You're testing reality, seeing if it lets you leave. You start the car, engine hums, sunlight bleeds through the clouds like diluted ink. The GPS lights up, defaulting to home. You delete the address. Enter a random city 100 miles away. Press Geo, but as soon as you hit the highway, something feels off. Signs are blurry, not just unreadable, they don't have letters. Just shapes, symbols you swear you've seen in your dreams. Gas stations vanish before you can turn in. Other cars seem to glide, never pass, never honk, never exist for more than a blink. You check the time, 8:43 a.m. 20 minutes later, still 8:43 a.m. You pull over, search for signal, no bars. Not even no service, just a blank screen. You check your bag, the sandwich you packed, gone. Replaced with a folded note, stop. You're not allowed outside the frame. You throw it out the window. A minute later, it's back in your lap. You drive for hours, or minutes, or days. Hard to say, because every road, every turn, leads you back. First it's a highway exit. Then it's the same gas station. Then, your apartment building visible in the rearview mirror no matter how far you drive. You scream, tear at the steering wheel. Veer off-road just to break the cycle. But the car refuses to crash. The trees bend. The world adjusts. Eventually, you stop at a motel. Desolate. Plastic key in a box labeled room 7. You open the door. And inside, Everything is identical to your apartment, down to the smallest detail. Even the photo of Claire, half faded, is taped to the fridge. You check your phone again. Time, 8:43 am. Battery, infinity%. You try sleeping, but when you wake, you're still in the same bed. Same light, same coffee mug on the table that reads, "You were never supposed to question this." You smash the mug, leave, drive again. This time heading south, you pass a man on the shoulder. He's holding a sign, turn back, there is nitrogen monoxide out. You ignore him, 10 minutes later. He's there again, same spot, same face. But this time, the sign says, "You were warned." You stop the car, approach him. "Who are you?" He doesn't speak. Instead, he reaches into his coat and hands you a mirror. It's cracked. You look into it and see yourself. But older, eyes hollow, mouth stitched shut. You drop it. The man is gone. So is the road, so is the sky, just black. And text floating in front of you. YOR, observer breach threshold, resetting environment. You blink and wake up, back in your apartment. It's morning. Again. You check the time, 8:43 am. There's a knock at the door. You don't answer, because you already know. Whoever's on the other side is you. You wake up to the sound of your alarm. Same apartment, same bed, same ceiling. But something is wrong. Your hands look unfamiliar. The voice in your head, not yours. Your reflection in the mirror, isn't you. You rush to your closet. The clothes fit, but not right. Your favorite hoodie is now a flannel shirt you'd never wear. You check your phone. Different wallpaper, different passcode. But when you swipe, it unlocks. Downstairs, the neighbors wave like always. Same smiles, same routine. Except they call you by a name you don't recognize. "Hey, Alex," you freeze. That's not your name. At least it wasn't yesterday. You go to your job. Only, it's not the one you had. Yesterday you worked in IT. Today, you're a paramedic. People greet you like nothing's changed. Photos on your desk show you with friends you've never met. A birthday card reads, "To Alex, our life-saving legend." You try to ask your coworkers, test them, trip them up. They answer everything perfectly, and every word makes you feel more insane. You wait until nightfall, lock yourself in. Write down everything you know. My real name is redacted. Yesterday I was someone else. This body is not mine. The world resets every night. Nobody sees the difference. You place the note under your pillow, fall asleep. The next morning, you wake up as Maya. Different body. Different gender, different apartment. You run to the pillow, lift it. The note is gone. But the handwriting is on the mirror now. They're not errors, they're versions. You keep waking. Every day, a different you. A student, a soldier, a grandmother, a thief, a priest. But the people around you always act like you've always been this one. You scream, you fight, you try to stay awake, but reality drags you back each time. Then, one morning, he's there, sitting across from you in a diner booth. Coffee in hand, black jacket, sharp eyes. He doesn't introduce himself. Just says, "You're slipping, too many breaches. They'll collapse the narrative if you don't stabilize soon." You demand answers. He smiles. You're not being punished. You're being tested. Each version of you is real. You're the only one who remembers. You ask, "Why me?" He shrugs. Because you look too closely. Because Claire warned you. Because someone has to break the loop. You reach for your phone to record this. He snatches it. No devices. No copies. Memory is the only true key. He slides a small coin across the table. Inscribed with a strange glyph. Half sun, half mirror. Swallow this tonight. If you survive the next reset, you'll remember all of them. Then he vanishes. That night, you hold the coin under your tongue. Swallow it. Wait. The world goes white. You scream. But your voice doesn't echo. Instead, it splinters into 100 versions of you, all screaming at once. Then silence. You wake in the dark. No room. No walls. Just stars. Floating in a black void, surrounded by your past selves. Each one watches you, judging. And one of them steps forward and says, "You're the anomaly now." It begins with a whisper, not a sound, but a pulse in your skull, like something calling out from behind your thoughts. Then the voice, Can you hear me, Claire? But not the Claire you remember. This voice is older, sharper, tired. You're in the memory lattice. You've breached the render veil, they're looking for you. You try to speak, but you have no mouth, no body. You're just a presence now, floating inside something that feels like code, but bleeds like memory. All around you. Flashes of lives you've lived, the street where you met Claire, the hallway where you saw the man in the mirror, the motel, the diner, the coin, all fractured, all looping. Focus, Claire says. If you drift too long, the archive will absorb you. You ask, what is this place? It's where they store you. Every version, every reset. You're not the first, but you're the first to wake up this far in. The archive is infinite. Each moment a chamber, each chamber a memory. You float past rooms labeled with dates, but none of them are real years. Instead, are 311A, the night you never slept. BZCHO, the version that believed. 0 o'clock, the error that got away. You glimpse yourself in each. Laughing, crying, killing, dying. Each one a piece of the you that's now falling apart. They fragmented your identity, Claire says, to keep you from consolidating. But the coin you swallowed, it's fusing the parts. You feel it, every memory, every lie, every loop. Rushing back, you scream, and suddenly, you have a mouth again. The archive begins to shake. Walls ripple like water. Rooms collapse inward. You hear them now, the keepers, faceless, enormous. Made of code and bone, they chant in unison. Observer breach, core awakening. Initiate memory purge. You run, but not on feet. You shift from one memory to the next. Surfing through versions like pages in a book being burned. Claire's voice grows faint. There's one last exit. Hidden in the first moment you ever questioned the world. Find it before they rewrite you. You dive deeper. Back through layers of false childhoods. Past the Claire that loved you. Past the Claire that hated you. Until you land in the exact moment you looked at the red mug in your apartment. The one that read you were never supposed to question this, and asked, then why do I? The mug is still in your hand, but now, it's cracked. Inside it, a tiny black cube, glowing, pulsing. You pick it up, the walls around you vanish. Suddenly, you're in a chair. A spotlight overhead, across from you. Claire, real, alive. But different, wearing a lab coat, holding a clipboard. She says, welcome back, subject 43. Took you long enough, you stutter, what is this? She taps the cube in your hand, that's your trigger key. The thing that made you start questioning. This whole thing, a simulation, a test to find the irregulars. People whose minds can't stay inside one reality. You ask if any of it was real. She looks down, then back up. Did it feel real? Before you can answer. The ceiling rips open, light pours in. The keepers have found you. Claire grabs your hand, shoves the cube into your chest, one more layer down. This time don't just survive, break, there, frame. You're yanked upward, into light, into fire. And then, darkness. One word echoes in your mind, finalization. There is no sky, no ground, no sound. Just the sensation of being, without shape, without limit. You are nowhere, and yet, you are. Your first thought isn't a question. It's a realization. This is the layer beyond memory. Beyond identity, beyond simulation. You've reached the origin core. This is where reality is written. And rewritten. You drift forward, or maybe downward. Or maybe you just begin to think about motion, and space rearranges itself to obey. A voice greets you, but it's not Claire. It's not anyone. It's you, another version. The you that never breached. The perfect version, the compliant one. They look like you, talk like you, but there's a stillness in their eyes. You've come too far, they say. This layer wasn't meant for minds like ours. You ask, then why was it made? To catch people like us. To observe the error, and contain it. They hold up the black cube, the same one Claire shoved into your chest. This isn't a key, they say it's a seed. You feel it now. Inside you, it's growing, not a memory, not a program, but a concept, self-authorship. The origin core around you flickers. Then splinters, walls of data crash down. Millions of realities, memories, versions, iterations, all bleeding into one another. You see Claire, all of her, across timelines, as your mother, your enemy, your creator. Each version whispers something different, but they all end with the same phrase: you are the frame now. Suddenly, the perfect version of you begins to glitch. Their face splits, eyes multiply. Their voice loops, too many inconsistencies. You were never supposed to survive this deep. They lunge, you raise your hand, and the world around you bends, not from strength, but will. You speak one word, reframe. Instantly, the version freezes, shatters like glass, all around you. The origin core twists into something new. You're not just experiencing the simulation anymore. You're writing it. A console appears before you, no keyboard, no screen. Just intention. You close your eyes, and the world builds itself around your thoughts. A park where you met Claire for the first time. A streetlight that never turns green. A childhood dog that never died. A diner that serves questions instead of food. You realize you can create a perfect loop. Or you can break it all. Then, a warning blinks into your mind. Simulation stabilizer detected. Would you like to reset? Yes, no. You hesitate. If you hit yes, you'll forget again, lose everything. Start over. If you hit nitrogen monoxide, you'll collapse the simulation. Erase everyone, including Claire. But then you remember something Claire once whispered. Back in a version you barely recall. We're not real until we choose. You smile, lift your hand, and reject both options. Instead, you speak. Let them choose. A door appears. One for each version of you. One for every person still trapped in the loop. You leave it open. No reset, no collapse, just the truth. And the freedom to step through it. You turn, walk into your own door, your own frame, and behind you, the world reshapes, not into the real, but into the possible. Because truth isn't what you find, it's what you build.